Hello. In the last episode, we learned about what are detailed components and how to use them. Today, in this episode, we are going to learn about how to create our own new custom detail component using the example of a brick. Watch till the end of this video to know how to make this detail component of a brick into a parametric brick component. So let's begin. This is a drafting view of my project where I've already created an outline of a wall. Here, I want to create a wall detail that shows me the brick bond that I'm using in my project. That looks something like this. This uses two detail components. One brick size, which is 230 by 75 millimeters, and another brick size, which is 110 by 75 millimeters. In order to create this detail component, I will go into File, New, Family, and from my Family Template folder, I'm going to use the detail item.rft. Detail components belong to the detail item category, so we'll use this particular template to create them. Let's open that up. The intersection of these two reference planes indicate the insertion point of your family. So I'm going to create a geometry somewhere around here. Let's go into Line and create a rectangle for our brick. Now, because I already know that I need two different types of brick sizes from the same family, instead of creating two separate detail components, I'm going to make this particular component parametric. I'm going to add dimension parameters for the length and the width for this particular rectangle. Let's go ahead and create a dimension that indicates the length of this brick and the width of this brick. Now I want to convert these dimensions into parameters. So I'll select one of them. Go ahead and choose Create New Parameter for this label, and I'm going to call it L. I'm going to keep it a type parameter because I want different brick sizes to be controlled by different types. I'm going to say OK. Let's select this dimension and go ahead and create a new parameter for the width. I'm also going to keep this a type parameter. Now we can go ahead into this family types and try to see if our parameters work. I'm going to make it 230. Let's go ahead and make it 110. That does work. Now, because we already know that we are going to use two different brick sizes in our project, we can already create those types into the family editor. It really saves us time in creating those types into the project. So let's go ahead under family types and create a new type 230 by 75. So I'm going to make the values correct for this particular type. And then go ahead and create another type 110 by 75. I'm going to make appropriate values for that. I'm going to say OK. So now I have two types already available to me. I load this family into my project. I'm going to say OK to this. So let's go ahead and save this family before loading it into our project. Let's call it brick detail component. And I will load it into the project. So under Annotation tab, under Detail Component, under Type Selector, you will see that we already have two types available to us, the ones that we need. We can always come back to this Edit Type Properties, duplicate, and create a new type if we need another brick size for our project. So let's go ahead and put 230 by 75 brick. I'm going to copy this particular brick and up to 85 millimeters so that it keeps 10 millimeters of gap for the mortar. And I'm going to convert this type to 110 by 75. Let's mirror that up here. And to repeat this combination across the height of my wall, I have two methods. One, I can simply select this and use my array tool. And another, I can use the repeating detail component. Let's try both of them. First, let's try an array tool. I'm going to select that and use array. I'm going to keep the group and associate on because I want to experiment with the number of array that I would like to have on my height. I'm going to say for now, let's start with 8 and move to second. So the distance between the first group and the second group is going to be 170 millimeters. And it's going to repeat itself. We still need a few more copies. I'm going to select one of them and go ahead and change the array value to 10. This looks perfect. So this is one way you can repeat a detail component. Now let's try the another way of creating repeating detail component. To do this, I'm going to first remove all of these groups that we have created. Let's go ahead under the drop-down menu of the detail component and use repeating detail component. This repeating detail component basically repeats a particular component that we specify in its type properties with a distance that we specify. For example, currently it's using this brick UK standard running section family at spacing of 75. When I select the start point and its end point, it basically repeats that component across that line that we have drawn. In our case, we want to repeat a combination of 3 detail components across this height. To do this, let's first create the combination that we want to repeat as a family. So let's go ahead and create a new family of detail item.rft. I'm going to go back to my parametric brick component and load it into the project, but this time not in the project, but in my new family. This is basically called nesting. We are nesting one family into another family. So here, I'm going to create the combination that I want to repeat. I'm going to copy this up by 85 millimeters. I'm going to select this component and change it to the one that I need. And I'm going to mirror that up on the other side. So this is the combination that we want to repeat. I'm going to save this combination as brick pattern. And now this combination is the one that I'm going to load into my project. So we are using a nested family for a repeating detail component. Let's go ahead and create a repeating detail component. Let's call it duplicate brick pattern. And this is the family that I'm going to use. And the distance between the two components is 170 millimeters. And I'm going to start from this point and end all the way here. It's as simple as that. So let's go ahead and start, end, start, end. You can repeat this n number of times in any direction that you need. You can always come back to your repeating detail component in order to reduce or increase the repetitions across that line. So now you know some basic concepts of creating parametric families. In the next few episodes, we are going to work with 3D families and how to make them parametric. So please make sure that you have subscribed. Stay tuned and see you in the next one.